everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Renee if you are new. Today's video is going to be 5 strategies that you can practice daily to help improve your self-control and self-discipline. So I'm going to go ahead and just dive right into it. If you are a person that has the inability to meet goals, has an unhealthy relationship with food, problems with addiction, problems with consistency, lack of being able to control certain emotions, procrastination, probably way more stuff than that, but that's all I could come up with in terms of lack of self-control. I actually read in my research that it's actually not in our nature to have self-control. Our brains weren't wired to have temptation around us all the time, so that's super interesting. This is gonna be the last New Year's resolution style video for the series. This is something that I really want to improve on. I find myself doing really well, and then I will fall and slip. It just goes downhill, and I feel like sometimes I get wrapped up into certain things and I just have no sense of control at all. So hopefully these 5 strategies will not only help you but will help me as well. I have my notes here as usual. The first strategy is to become self-aware. I hated the articles that I researched where they said just remove temptation. I'm like, I want to have self-control when there's temptation around me. I don't want to just remove everything, because odds are in my life there's going to be temptation and there's going to be things there that are going to affect my self-control. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I kind of turned that around and made my own little strategy, and that is to know your weaknesses and to know your strengths. What is something that gets you in a really good mindset where you feel like you have better self-control, and what are your weaknesses? So for example, some of the weaknesses where I tend to lose my self-control is whenever I give up on something or plan something and then don't do it. For example, if I plan to work out and I skip my workout because I don't feel like working out, like there's no real valid reason as to why I'm skipping my workout, that's where I tend to fall into a rut, and I find myself consistently being lazy and choosing the comfort zone. I've realized when I don't wake up early, my whole day tends to kind of just feel more and more lazy, and I lack self-control. Also when I'm bored, when I have nothing to do, when I'm not putting my mind into something, whether that's reading, entertainment, working on work, being creative, all that stuff, I tend to lack self-control, and I'll just like, you know, binge on food, for example. And some of the strengths that I have where I find myself having the most self-discipline is when I do work out, when I'm consistent with my workouts, because it releases like the happy chemicals, the endorphins, so I find myself feeling better and being able to have self-control. Another one is external motivation. So if I watch, listen, or read inspiring people that I look up to, I find myself having more self-control and wanting to keep doing the right things. Also, music to me is a very big strength. When I listen to music, like good, pumped up, inspiring music, I find myself again having a lot of self-discipline. And then also a clean environment. When I find my space is very cluttered, I'm very clutter-minded, and then I just don't really care. I find myself caring more and having more self-discipline with my goals and my body and my personal well-being when I have a clean environment. So those are some of my strengths and weaknesses. Next time you're ever in a rut, find out where your headspace is at. Find out some external factors as to why maybe this is happening. And then also do the same thing when you're in a good mindset, when you are feeling self-disciplined and you feel like you're getting stuff done and you're putting yourself first and prioritizing your life. What do you feel is an external motivation that will help you get into that mindset? So once you do that, obviously you can kind of alter your external environment to hopefully help with that self-control or that feeling of wanting to have better self-control and better self-discipline for yourself. That's a huge one. The second one that I have is to remember that no one gets everything that they want. So this is actually something that came from my boyfriend. We live in a world where like everyone has access to so many different things that they want, and they can have access to that whenever they feel like it. So if, let's say, you're craving some food, we can literally go outside and find a place to go get food. We are privileged in the sense that everything is in our direct location. Like we can find a way to get what we want, and that's not something that we obviously had all the time, and a lot of people in different countries and stuff don't have that. If you're ever in a situation where you might not have your temptations or not even be able to access your temptations, like we just simply won't be able to attain it. So why do we feel the need to like get everything that we want right now? You can't have everything that you want. Like sometimes that won't be available, and if that privilege of having everything right there would ever go away, we would find a way to survive. So when you have that mindset in your head that we don't get everything that we want, sometimes saying no to yourself is like, okay, like you're almost an adult and talking to like your kid self, like, no, you can't have that right now. Like that's simply not gonna happen. And just kind of have that mindset of if that wasn't there right now, you couldn't have it. So how would you survive if it wasn't there? If that makes any sort of sense at all. So the third thing on my list is to think long term. So we live in also a world of instant gratification. When we do get what we want, we are instantly gratified. We can get gratification at such a quick rate, and it's very easy. For example, if you eat chocolate, you get instant gratification because, oh my God, it's so yummy. But then long term, you're making yourself overweight, unhealthy, and you're also creating a sugar addiction. When you think long term, the instant gratification becomes less of a priority, and obviously like you want to think like long-term happiness and long-term health. That could be the same for purchases. Like you're addicted to shopping, for example. You like that instant gratification, but is it going to bring you long-term happiness? Are you going to have savings? Are you going to have a retirement so that you can maybe stop working and work on things that you actually want to creatively do rather than just sit there and try to make money? Whatever your thing is that you feel like you lack self-discipline in, think about the repercussions long-term rather than just what you're getting out of it right now. The fourth thing on my list is balance and to chill the F out, because a lot of the times when people want something, especially where they feel lack of self-control with, they create this huge giant goal in their head or plan and plan and plan and plan, and they just overcomplicate it because they're sitting there overthinking about it, overanalyzing about it, planning about it, thinking about when they're gonna attain it, like all this stuff that's just like, stop. The goal here is to keep it simple, because those smaller wins are going to create larger success in the long run. I created this like little circle, like this really bad rut that people I feel like get in when they create something that's unbalanced in their life, or they go too hardcore into something. They create an unrealistic expectation, and then they overthink and overanalyze and overplan and over-exaggerate that situation rather than just simply doing it. A good example here is like when you have an alarm clock set in the morning and you sit there and press snooze, 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 snooze. Every time that you press snooze, it's going to be harder for you to get up. If you've ever woken up and you've hit snooze, like you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever woken up and you don't hit snooze, you know what I'm talking about. You just jump out of bed, you're awake, and you've just done it. It's like jumping into like a cold pool. You know when you're a kid and everyone's like, just do it, just do it. And like the anticipation is what's making it way worse. And if you just jump in the pool, it'll be over with and then it won't be cold anymore. It's kind of like that. Like we sit there and plan these things that we want, or beat ourselves up for not having the discipline or control to do it instead of just doing it. And maybe like when you put one foot in front of the other and just take one step at a time, like you'll get there. But then after we overthink and create that overwhelm, we end up burning out, obviously, because it's too extreme. We just simply give up. And then we beat ourselves up after, and then we have lack of forgiveness for ourselves, and then we just get down on ourselves and create more of an overwhelm and overthinking it. And then we create another unrealistic expectation by trying to find the right time to do things, having everything perfectly aligned before we have a start, and we just end up creating excuses for not even trying it again. Here's a life hack. There's no right time, ever. The time is now. There's never going to be a right time. Nothing is going to align perfectly for you to start something. That's one of the biggest things where I see people do is they keep saying, oh, once this happens, or once I get this, just do it. There's never, ever, ever going to be a right time. Another thing that I see is when people plan for an end result. So they'll sit there and overanalyze and overplan or create a vision board for what their end goal or the end result's going to be. And here's another life hack. There's never going to be an end result. It's an ever-going infinite thing. People think that they're striving towards a goal, and once they hit that, they're going to be complete. That's not the case. Once you hit that goal, there's going to be more goals or more wants that you have, and it's just going to be an ever-growing stream to wellness. And that's how life is. There's no end result. So people sit there and they can't reach the end result, and then it's like that's not even a thing, because I can go on. So for example, what I'm basically saying here is to balance out your life. Don't make it overcomplicated. Just simply do it and it's done. For example, if you're having trouble with food, if you are craving a pizza, have a slice of pizza. Don't order the whole box, and then get back to being healthy. Don't beat yourself up and overcomplicate it. Don't go on these fad diets. Just eat healthy. Eat whole foods. And if you're craving a piece of chocolate at the end of the day, have a piece of chocolate, but just keep going and don't beat yourself up and create this huge overwhelm. That's what creates the imbalance in terms of like an unhealthy relationship with food. Trust me, I would know that. Working out, don't overdo it. Don't overcomplicate your workouts. Put in rest days as part of your workout plan. Keep it balanced, because you're gonna burn yourself out, get injured, and then you're gonna quit, and then create that whole cycle that I was just telling you about. In terms of goals, create an execution plan and do it. That's it. You don't have to sit there and wait for the right time or create this huge, long pathway to what you think is gonna be an end goal. Like I said in the beginning of this whole rant, large success comes from consistency of small action. Start small, and that's when you'll see results. Balance, keep it level, keep it simple. And then the last and final tip is to stop running from discomfort. You're never gonna grow without discomfort. There's no path to success without obstacles. I'm like a quote person. We have to embrace the discomfort. The people who go and push through that discomfort and aren't afraid of it are the people who succeed. I read this a lot in Goggins' book. If you want like a huge motivational book that literally got me out of my ass and just like running, honestly, this book makes you do things. Like, I've never read a book where I literally want to put the book down so that I can like start doing stuff. I will pop it in the description box. It's a great book. Something that I noticed in the book is that he always puts himself in discomfort. For example, it's freezing cold outside. If it's freezing cold outside, that's a great excuse to be like, I'm gonna be bundled up in here, maybe now's not the right time to run. But he's like, no, I'm gonna get in this mindset where I can be comfortable running in the cold. He runs down streets that he was once attacked racially just to overcome that fear of that road. And he is like a crazy human being. Like, he's done things that I don't even think normal human beings can do. Obviously, our minds are wired to do what's easy. So for example, if you are hungry, instead of like going home and cooking a well-cooked meal, the comfort is going through the drive-thru and spending $1 or $2 on a very good hamburger and french fries. But again, think long term. Also, think about discomfort. In terms of discomfort here, it's like the time and energy it takes to nourish your body. At the end of the day though, once you eat that healthy food, you'll feel better. Same with your goals. If you find an obstacle in terms of doing something career-wise, the people that are gonna push through that discomfort and own that discomfort and embrace that discomfort are gonna be the people who succeed at whatever you're trying to accomplish. And a lot of people, I'm sure, have tried and then stopped there and then went away. So the people who go through the discomfort, you have a better chance and opportunity and you'll succeed more. What? So stop running away from the discomfort and embrace it. Obviously, put yourself in healthy situations, balance it out. There's no growth without discomfort is basically what I'm saying. Instead of taking the easy route, another example could be like if you're binge eating, you're choosing the comfort of being able to have that food and eat that food for whatever reason. I have a whole video on binge eating, by the way. If you struggle with that, I'll pop it on the screen. I feel like a lot of people got a lot of good from that, so hopefully that can help you. But instead of having the comfort of the food around you, maybe the discomfort is pushing through that thought and overcoming that thought and maybe going for a run instead. Obviously, it's not gonna be something ideal that you wanna go do when you're in the moment of craving and binging on food, but that's what's gonna push you through that lack of self-control in terms of wanting to be comfortable and wanting to like be better. So my battery is running out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you so much. I hope you gained something from it, and I'll see you guys all in a future video. Thanks for watching the New Year's resolutions videos. Bye guys. Thumbnail.
Stay calm. And if you can,
I don't know what that was.
please enjoy the show.
I'm a walking Liberty Bell, free to ring through my stride, freedom to be inside, and be a slave to my pride, and ride away to scream. Man, this love's so serene, I should probably shake it up just a little bit. So not fine with content, I'm so aligned with my stench. My career probably smell like piss, bitch.